LBC 97.3. Anthony Davis.
So, I wrote this letter to Westminster City Parking People. I'll read it to you. I just thought you might find it interesting, seeing as I believe I was completely in the right. And because now, as Nick Ferrari will be telling you later on this morning, he'll be talking a little bit more about the fact that in order to park in certain parts of Westminster, the city of Westminster, you know, the central borough in our capital city, you must own a mobile phone if you want to park. That's the deal. No more cash. And actually, as it happened, I remember, because when I drove to this particular parking space, which is right near my brother's flat, I had change in my pocket. I had enough £1 coins to be able to park for 4 hours. But no, I wasn't allowed to use them. I had to pay by phone. It was the first time I'd ever registered. I didn't know about the procedure, and this is the letter that I have written to the borough in response to them turning me down when I sent my first letter of complaint. So, I said, "Dear City of Westminster, thank you for your letter rejecting my representation to this penalty charge notice. I strongly believe that I have received this ticket in error, and I am now making a formal representation. I parked in Bulstrode Street approximately 10 to 4 in the afternoon and attempted to register my vehicle details for the first time with your new pay-by-phone service. I intended to pay for 45 minutes parking time in this bay. The registration process I found to be very difficult, as your credit card entry technology does not allow for mistakes and requires re-entry of the entire process if you make a mistake. I found that I had to start again several times. The vehicle registration inputting was extremely frustrating as well and very slow, and I was sheltering in a doorway. It was raining. I could not sit in my vehicle as I needed to see the information printed on your signage, which was not close by. The entry of my car registration alone took almost 10 minutes and went something like this. For L, press 5. Did you mean J, K, or L? For L, press 1. For O, press 6. I pressed 6. Did you mean M, N, or O? For M, press 1. For N, press 2. And for O, press 3. Now, this process went on, as I have about 7 numbers and letters in my car registration details. So, despite much negative emotion, I persisted. I eventually received an automated vehicle registration confirmation text message from you at 15:58, followed by another regarding your top-up service. Now, these messages from you clearly prove that I was in the process of making payment prior to the penalty charge notice being issued. After failing to successfully complete the automated payment procedure due to my failed credit card number entry, I pressed the button for the customer services operator, who acknowledged my problems and completed the transaction for me, paying the charge up to 16:30 hours. Upon returning to the vehicle at 16:20, I discovered the ticket. Now, as you can see, I was in no way attempting to withhold payment, but was wrestling with your automated system, which is clearly problematic for those of us that are technophobes. I know that many people who've had problems are currently dealing with this, and the press have also not been kind to your new technical infrastructure either. Incidentally, I've since parked successfully and paid several times in these bays since. After initial setup, the payment process is much easier, but I feel on this occasion I've been penalised for attempting to sign up to your new cashless scheme, for which you give up no alternative method of payment. I'd be grateful if you would consider my case and cancel this penalty charge notice. Yours sincerely, Mr. Anthony Davis. I didn't put of LBC 97.3. I thought that would have been a bit too much, don't you? But the point is that I was not trying to evade the ticket price. I was quite happy to pay and display, but I wasn't allowed to. A, I had cash in my pocket and they wouldn't let me spend it, and B, the process of registering is a nightmare. And I am a relatively young, fit man, and whilst I admitted to being a bit of a technophobe on there, the reality is I should have been able to get my head round it. I couldn't. It's a nightmare. If you've had similar problems, let me know, or indeed let Nick know a little bit later on here on LBC 97.3. Oh, And I'm a Westminster City, resident. Really, they should cut me a little slack, don't you think? I'll let you know the result of that particular representation in the forthcoming weeks, if you're interested. If you're not, we'll just talk about soaps.
Am I allowed to say Radio 4?
If you like.
I heard about it on Radio 4.
And, you would have also heard about it on LBC. It probably would have been a lot more palatable as well, but that's just my opinion. I think you find that even myself, I'm not a teenager, but I am 6 months pregnant.